Hi there. Today I will be describing in this brief tutorial how I built a multi-nodal agentic AI tool that is able to gather and return data from a variety of different data sources. But before I begin and I demonstrate the actual code base behind this agentic AI tool, I would like to first of all describe what an agentic AI is. Now, an agentic AI tool is an artificial intelligence tool that is capable of completing a series of complex goals and tasks with limited supervision. And these are based on very powerful large language models that are able to approximate human intelligence and inference. These tools don't only have the ability to answer complex questions, but they can also learn from user inputs and respond uh, given to simulate human interactions with those responses. Now, I would like to continue this tutorial by describing some of the different tools that I use to build this AI agent tool, one of which was LangChain. This is an open source engineering framework that was developed by MIT, and it helps developers to build, test, and to deploy reliable AI agents. Next on our list is LangGraph, which is built upon LangChain, and it has the ability to provide a framework to manage the control and flow of applications that need to handle complex logic like loops, conditional logic, and branching tasks for some of these multi-agent systems. Next, I also leverage Supabase, which is an open source backend service platform that helps developers to build applications by offering them a Postgres database that they can connect online and also employ a variety of different security measures like authentication. Last but not least, I use Tavili, which is a specialized search engine that you can use in conjunction with your AI agent to allow for real-time access to the web, and offers the ability to do a number of things like extract data from URLs and crawl entire websites to gather information and data that is relevant to the input prompt. Now that I have described in large terms what the tools I use to build this AI agent, I would like to actually show the actual code that I use to build the agent. As you can see on your screen, this is the back end code that I built and wrote to deploy this agent. As you can see, I use a number of different LangGraph imports, some of which include the LangGraph create React agent. We've also got the to initialize the chat model. I've also imported Tavili Search and also Memory Saver, which allows my agentic AI tool to be able to learn from the user inputs that it receives. In order to leverage these tools, it's also important that you create accounts and get important secret information from these different tool bases. And so these are some of the different secrets that I have been able to obtain to deploy this AI agent. And all of these are contained within my .environment file for security purposes. I also have a local MySQL database, and these are the connection details in order to connect to that database, which also has important data stored within it, which the AI agent will leverage. As you can see here, I also use the Memory Saver module, and all of these, of course, were used to finally build the AI agent tool. Now, if we go down here, you just see a number of different functions which have been written in order to call or make direct calls to those different data sources and different repositories in question, depending on the input response prompt that the chat agent receives in its front end. This function is calling the MySQL database that's on my local computer. This function here is just calling the Supabase database, which has data which the agent will leverage. And if you scroll down a bit more, you will see that I also have tools calling the Tavili web search tool as well. Now this is down here, the actual chat endpoint that is called when a person hits submit on the front end. And what this does is that it activates the backend code's ability to be able to decipher which tool should be responsible for providing the response back from the initial source prompt. And that's what this logic here is describing some of these conditional logic codes that you see here on the screen. All right, now that we've covered the back-end code, let's go ahead and cover the front-end code. Now, this is just a simple React database, as a React code base, which essentially provides the user the ability to interact with the chat agent with all the responses returned back to the backend code, which I already described how it is able to respond back to the source input that it receives. This code base also provides the ability for this chat agent to be able to respond to questions with natural language. And in order to do that, I use OpenAI's text-to-speech capabilities. And of course, these are the environment variables that I am leveraging, which are also in a .environment file for the sake of security. All right, and as we go down here, you actually see the React front-end code base that builds the actual front-end UI interface. And this is just what it looks like, a simple UI interface. Once the user hits enter, the information from the source input is returned to the chat backend, and it is then decoded by the chat agent in the back in order to respond appropriately to the user. All right, now that we have covered both of those code bases, let's go ahead and start the application. And this is the code that I use to start my backend code. Going to give it some time to start. We're also going to go ahead and activate our front end and give it time to load.
Hey there. I'm Jarvis, your AI assistant connected to the web, MySQL, and Supabase. What can I help with today?
And Supabase. What can I help with today?
All right, it looks like our chat agent has initialized, as you can see in the code bases on the screen. They are working as expected. Now let's attempt to gain information from the chat end. According to my Supabase database, what is
According to your Supabase database, Supabase is an open source Firebase alternative PostgreSQL.
From my Supabase database.
According to your Supabase database, Supabase is an open source Firebase alternative built on PostgreSQL.
Fantastic. Let's see if that indeed is the same response in the Postgres database back that I have that data stored. And as you can see here, that is the exact same response that the AI
According to your local SQL database, I am your
Let's go ahead and post a question that it will be received from my local SQL database. According to my local SQL database, what is your name?
According to your local SQL database, I am your local AI agent.
Fantastic. Let's see if that corresponds to the answer in my local SQL database. And as you can see here, that is indeed the answer. I am your local AI agent, which corresponds to what the AI agent returned. Now that is the end of this demonstration of how I was able to build a multi-nodal agentic AI bot that's able to return responses from a variety of different data sources. Some of the additional improvements to this chat AI agent, which I will work on and post, will include the ability to request request the answers from the chat AI agent by utilizing a natural language. That is the ability to create a voice prompt, which gives greater flexibility for the use of this AI agent tool. Thank you so much for listening today.